Let me tell y'all something real quick. I know this topic right here. Oh, it's gonna rub some folks the wrong way. But stay with me. Don't jump in the comments yet. See, today, everybody yelling women empowerment, equality, feminism. And look, I respect women. Always have. But here's the twist y'all didn't expect me to say. Islam been protecting women's rights long before feminism even showed up. Now listen, let me get this clear before somebody clips me and starts a rumor. I ain't Muslim. I ain't standing here trying to convert nobody. I'm just telling you what I learned, what I read, and what opened my eyes. Because when I started looking into it, man, I said, hold up. Islam was doing this centuries before hashtags and rallies and TV speeches. Sometimes the truth don't need marketing. It just needs someone to speak it. Let's go way back. I'm talking ancient times. Before social media, before universities, before laws protecting anybody. Women, they didn't have rights. In some places, girl babies were seen as a burden. Some societies even buried baby girls alive. Yeah, let that sink in. Then Islam came and said, no, a daughter is a blessing, not a burden, not a shame, a blessing. Islam said, if you raise daughters with love and kindness, God will reward you with paradise. Come on now. Find me another system in that era talking like that. Women in Islam were given inheritance, respect, honor, and value 1,400 years ago. Meanwhile, the rest of the world still trying to figure out if women even had souls. That ain't empowerment. That's revolutionary. See, feminism came to fix a broken system. Islam never let the system get broken in the first place. Now look, a whole lot of folks today think empowerment means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, and ain't nobody allowed to question you. But freedom without dignity, that ain't empowerment. That's just noise. Feminism in some circles says, show it off. You're free, but society still objectifies women, still rates them on looks, still pressures them to expose more to get attention. Islam said something different. You ain't a product. You ain't for entertainment. You deserve honor, privacy, and respect. Y'all ever notice how when a woman dresses for dignity, modern society calls it oppression, but when she undresses, they call it empowerment? That backward logic don't sit right with me. Islam don't say hide out of fear. It says protect out of worth. Because queens don't sit in store windows. They sit on thrones. People out here talking like Islam forces women into marriage and controls them. Man, please, that's TikTok talk, not real research. Islam says a woman has the right to choose her husband. She keeps her name, keeps her money. If she works, her income is hers. If she doesn't, the man still gotta provide. And ladies, listen, Islam said the man must treat his wife with kindness, respect, and mercy. If he don't, he failing his religion, not following it. Feminism says, I don't need a man. Islam says, you don't have to need one. But if you choose one, he better take care of you. Ain't no oppression in responsibility and honor. That's called structure, stability, and love. Something society today forgot how to build. People be like, hijab is oppression. Let her be free. But let me ask you something. If a woman covers herself because she values her body and wants respect instead of attention, how is that oppression? You know what's real oppression? When society pressures women to show skin so companies can sell products, get views, sell fantasies, make billions. Islam says the hijab is dignity, identity, honor. It's a woman saying, I decide how you see me. I define my value, not the world. That ain't weakness, that's confidence. And look, once again, I ain't Muslim, but I respect any system that protects women from being turned into marketing tools. That's empowerment with self-respect, not self-exposure. All right now, let's talk education. Because folks love to say religion keeps women uneducated. Well, let me tell you what I found when I looked at Islam. Islam didn't just allow women to learn, it commanded it. Not suggested, not encouraged, commanded. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said seeking knowledge is a duty for every believer, men and women. And let me drop a name on y'all, Aisha Ray. She wasn't just sitting at home. She was one of the greatest scholars in Islamic history. Men, great men, leaders, judges would come to learn from her. She narrated thousands of teachings, taught society, corrected people, advised rulers. This ain't the picture the media paints, is it? Oppressed Muslim woman hidden in a corner. Nah, educated, powerful, respected. That was the image. And here's the funny thing. Some feminists today say they fight for girls' education, but Islam already had female scholars while the world still thought women couldn't even read. See, real empowerment ain't yelling about rights. It's having knowledge, dignity, and influence without losing your values. And that's what Islam built. Now this one shocked me, because in today's modern world, you got couples splitting rent, splitting groceries, splitting weekend plans, splitting stress. Whole lot of splitting, not a lot of support. But Islam said, a woman's money belongs to her, period, not shared, not expected to be spent on the household, not controlled by the husband. And the man, he must provide food, shelter, clothing, even if she makes more money than him. Let that sink in. Modern feminism says, we independent, pay your half. Islam says, baby girl, you ain't paying nothing if you don't want to. That man better stand up and handle his responsibilities. That ain't weakness. That's protection. That's value. A system that says your income is yours. His income supports you. Show me a corporate HR policy today that respects women like that. Women didn't need feminism to get economic rights in Islam. They already had it, with dignity, not struggle. Let me talk plain and simple now. Because this world today, it don't care about women. It cares about using women. Using their bodies to sell products. Using their emotions to push agendas. Using their insecurities to sell cosmetics, surgeries, filters, self-love courses, everything. And all the while, they're yelling, women are free now, empowered. Yeah, free to be marketed, judged, objectified, and pressured every single day. Islam said something different. A woman's worth is not measured in looks, likes, or lingerie. It's measured in her dignity, her soul, her character. Islam don't say women can't work. It says when they do, they must be safe, respected, and never objectified. That's not oppression. That's protection from a world that turns women into billboards and then calls it liberation. I ain't Muslim. Y'all know that by now. But I can recognize when a system protects women instead of selling them. That's called wisdom. That's called value. And today's world could use a whole lot more of that. Now this one right here, this is where Islam absolutely dropped the mic. Who's the most honored person in Islam? Not a king, not a warrior, not a scholar, a mother. There's a saying in Islam, paradise lies at the feet of your mother. Meaning if you want God's favor, you treat that woman who raised you like royalty. Let me ask you, what movement today teaches young people to honor their mama like that? Instead, we got modern trends telling kids, cut off anyone who stresses you out, even family. Nah, man, in Islam, your mother is sacred. You don't raise your voice at her. You don't ignore her. You serve her, cherish her, respect her, pray for her. 3 times more honor given to the mother than the father. You tell me that ain't powerful. Feminism says a woman's value is in independence. Islam says her value is divine, whether she works, builds a career, or raises a nation inside her home. A society that honors mothers builds strong generations. A society that abandons mothers, it crumbles. And we seeing that right now. Let's be real for a second. In today's world, divorce can turn messy real fast. People ghost each other, skip responsibilities, leave kids confused and women struggling. But Islam put rules down, strict ones. You don't just walk out because you felt bored one Tuesday afternoon. You don't get to disappear and leave a woman abandoned, wondering what happened. If a man divorces a woman in Islam, he still got to provide during her waiting period. He still got to treat her with respect. He still got to handle things with dignity. He can't put her out on the street, can't dishonor her, can't leave her without closure. Islam didn't say marriages won't fall apart. It said if they do it with justice. And look, there's something else folks don't know. A woman in Islam can initiate divorce if she's not treated right. She can stand before a judge and say, I am not being respected. And Islam listens. It protects her dignity even at the end of a marriage. Some systems leave women emotionally and financially broken after divorce. Islam said, endings don't erase honor. Now tell me that's not empowerment? Some folks think Islam sees women as spiritually lower. That's because they never read a thing they're arguing about. They're scrolling instead of studying. Islam says, men and women come from one soul, not one superior and the other secondary. One soul. Women pray, worship, earn reward, go to heaven on the exact same path as men. The same God listening to a man's prayer is listening to a woman's prayer the same way. And let me drop the real one. There's no story in Islam like Eve tricking Adam and causing everything to fall apart. No blame placed on women for the downfall of mankind. In Islam, both made a mistake, both repented, both forgiven. You know how powerful that is. A whole religion saying, you ain't the problem of humanity, you part of the solution. Modern feminism fights to say, women and men are equal in value. Islam already stamped that a long time ago. Not by protests, not by slogans, by divine declaration. Now that's spiritual respect. Look here, society today pushes freedom without boundaries. But that ain't freedom, that's chaos. Islam says a woman should be protected, not because she's weak, but because she's valuable. You don't guard something worthless. You guard diamonds, not gravel. Everything in Islam is built around honor. The way people talk to women, the way they treat them, how they carry themselves, how men are commanded to lower their gaze, show respect, and protect dignity. People love to say women should be safe to dress however they want. And look, in a perfect world, that sounds great. But we don't live in a perfect world. Islam said, instead of pretending evil doesn't exist, create a lifestyle that keeps women protected from it. Not scared, protected. Not hidden, valued. And I ain't Muslim, y'all know that. But any system that builds safety instead of pretending danger don't exist, man, that's wisdom right there. Let's talk modern empowerment real quick. Likes, filters, dancing on TikTok, tearing down men online, calling yourself a queen while begging strangers for validation. That ain't empowerment. That's insecurity dressed up in glitter. Islamic empowerment? It don't need an audience. A Muslim woman don't gotta scream, respect me, because her faith already gave her respect. She don't gotta dress for attention. She don't gotta fight just to be valued. Her rights didn't come from a movement. They came from God. Feminism says, prove you're equal. Islam says, you were created equal. See the difference? One is a fight, one is a fact. And again, I ain't Muslim, I don't preach Islam. But facts don't care what religion you follow. Truth stands on its own 2 feet. Look, here's the deal. Today's world will tell you that women got power because of protests and politics. But history don't lie. A system was already protecting women's dignity before society even woke up to the idea. Feminism brought noise, no doubt. But Islam brought rights, honor, responsibility, and respect. Not in theory, in Allah, in practice, in life. And no, I ain't Muslim. I ain't trying to convert you. I'm just a man who studied, observed, and realized something most people too afraid to admit out loud. Islam didn't come to oppress women. It came to protect them better than any modern movement ever could. Sometimes truth don't need a crowd. It just needs courage to be spoken.